Knowing what skills to train as a new player can be kind of confusing and also kind of daunting, but that's okay. I'm going to help you out. There's this thing called the Magic 14 in Eve, and these are 14 different skill categories, 5 skills each. These skills, no matter what you do in Eve, will improve or affect anything that you do. Anything that you fly, any career that you end up doing, anything like that. So what I'm going to do is in the description of this video, I'm going to add a list of skills, and all you have to do is go in there and copy those, and then you can make a skill plan. And I'll show you how to do that. So on this character, this is my alpha character. As you can see, I have the Magic 14 skill plan here, and you can track it and all things like that. So take all the skills that are in the description of this video, go over to your skills, go over here to skill plans and then personal plans, and you can go to create skill plan. Once you get into this screen, go to this little button here and just hit import skills from clipboard, give it a name, description if you want, and you can save it. Now, going over these skills here, you can go in there and you can see all the ones that are in there, but essentially everything in this list you should prioritize first when you first start playing. This is going to be things that are going to increase your CPU for your ship, your power grid, your capacitor operation, your hull, your shield, your structure, HP, everything like that, your sub-warp navigation speed, your warp ability, the amount of capacitor that you use when you initiate warp, everything. And it doesn't matter if you're flying a very cheap exploration ship, or if you're flying a Rorqual, or if you're flying a Jump Raider or a Titan. All these skills will affect absolutely everything that you do in the game. That is what I would recommend to prioritize first. Even if you're a veteran player, check the list, make sure you have everything, because getting them all done is going to just improve your experience tenfold or even more. Let's go over some other skills too to look at, or how to like analyze skills, which you should be kind of focusing on. And really what I do is I take whatever ship I'm flying or whatever ship I'm hoping to fly, and I kind of just micromanage it a little bit. So I'm going to be looking at whatever I'm flying in terms of each part, and I'm going to try to improve each part any way that I can. So when it comes to weapons, right, I want to find skills that are going to increase the range or the DPS, or maybe the modules, the launchers or whatever, will use less CPU or capacitor, which allows me to put more things on the ship. Or I'm going to be looking at prop mods and increasing their speed or their CPU or power grid usage or whatever. So just look at whatever you're flying, and in terms of each module, try to find associated skills with it that will improve it. So just to give you kind of an idea, weapon upgrades, this is another good skill. This will decrease the CPU usage for any smart bombs, turrets, or launchers, so that's going to help you get a little bit more workability into your fit. The other thing would be like in the navigation area, any afterburner skill that's going to increase the capacitor reduction. So your afterburners will use less capacitor, so you can fit more tank on or anything like that. Same thing with high-speed maneuvering. That is a reduction in micro warp drive. So it's essentially just the micro warp drive version of that skill. Acceleration. Acceleration control is going to give you a speed boost. So you're going to get more speed out of those prop mods and things like that. And then if you go into like shield stuff, right, if you're using any sort of like shield amplifier for a resistance type, then EM, like if you're using EM amp, right, there's shield compensation skills in here, and what those are actually going to increase the amplifier stuff, right, and you're going to get more out of them. Or shield operation, shield upgrade, all these things are going to just make your shield modules even better. And then you can even look into, like, if you're running drones on your ship, you start looking at drone skills. How do you improve their damage or their mining yield, or how fast they travel, or how far out you can control them, anything like that. So you really just need to prioritize based on whatever your objectives are, whatever your aspirations are. But just to kind of summarize everything, pretty much in a nutshell, get that Magic 14. Once you get past that point, start looking at improving what you're interested in. And before you even start getting into like the per module kind of min-maxing, make sure you get your starship skill. So for this is a destroyer. This is a Caldari destroyer. So one of your biggest thing is like trying to get your ship skill. So Caldari destroyer skill, And because every time you get a level of your ship's skill, it's going to go up in its roll bonuses, right? If you roll over here, it says Caldari Destroyer bonuses per skill level. You're going to get that bonus for every one of those levels. So make sure you look at that too. It's not just about per module skills, right? You want to make sure that if you're flying a destroyer for Caldari, get Caldari 4 or Caldari Destroyer 4 or 5. Or if you're flying an Amar frigate, get Amar frigate 4 or 5. You know, those things are super important to helping just get more out of the ship. And if you're, you know, an alpha, then you have a very small window. You have a 5.5 million or a 5 million skill that you can get at the beginning when you pass it before you have to start doing other crazy stuff. So picking those skills very, very carefully will pay dividends in the end, because you want to make sure that you have the right skills in order to succeed and in order to actually get good ISK to improve, right? It doesn't matter if you're alpha or omega, especially if you're omega, you're going to want to keep that income coming in as you aspirations get higher and things like that. But don't undervalue skills like target management, because the more targets you can lock, even as a miner, just makes things a lot easier. I mean, if you're able to, if you're a miner and you have target management, you know, 4 or 5, and you're able to, you know, select your asteroids, and then rats come on grid, and you can target those and take care of those instead of dropping targets to swap things. Don't undervalue stuff like that. Or if you're a mission runner, you know, don't undervalue anything in the social tab, like, you know, security connections, which you have to buy on the market, or like things that will increase the LP you gain or the ISK you get from each mission, or things like that. Because it's not necessarily just about the ship, it's about the activity you're doing as well. So if you're a market trader, you want to get broker relations, you want to get trade. If you're running fleets with alts, you want to try to get, you know, fleet, you know, skills and things like that. So just take whatever activity you're doing and whatever ship you're doing it in and improve it. Just micromanage it at the lowest level you can. And the best thing you can do to educate yourself is just to go in here, select all skills, and just look at what's available. Roll over it, read it, and after a while you'll start getting the jargon. You'll be able to understand what affects what, and it's a lot of trial and error. But for the most part, getting that Magic 14 is by far the most critical thing that you can do. I didn't finish my Magic 14 on my main. I think the last skill I got after a year of playing was long range targeting 5. But it feels great when you actually finish that set of skills, because it means that you don't have to worry about just those basic things. And then you can start focusing on just anything else, because then you can start looking at fits that you see on the community, and it's no longer a wonder like, well, how, like, when I simulate this fit I got online, how are they getting this to work? Because it's over CPU, or it's really bad capacitor, or it's over power grid. How are they doing this? And most of the time it's because the person who made that fit, they have their Magic 14, so they're able to squeeze a lot more out of their chip having those skills. Keep that in mind. I hope this helped you guys as new players and everything like that. But yeah, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and see you guys next time. Peace out.